Westlife star Brian McFadden and Atomic Kitten frontwoman Kerry Katona seemed like a match made in pop heaven. The showbiz couple, who sparked chemistry on the Smash Hits tour in 1999, tied the knot in a grand ceremony at Slane Castle Rathfay, Ireland, in 2002. But behind their glitzy bash, which was said to have cost £100,000, Brian was keeping a secret. The young singer, who formed the group Boys Life, later admitted that had not stopped to think if the marriage was a good idea. He blamed his inexperience for the mess that followed and held his hands up to a stripper fling before their big day. Brian, who had only kissed one person before Kerry, told The Independent in 2007, "I was very young when I met her and no one ever loved me before. So when Kerry came along and wanted me, that gap was filled and I felt good simply because I had someone to share everything with. I never stopped to think, you really should get to know this person before you have kids, think of marrying or settle down. So then, when we had the first baby, bought a house, spent time together and Westlife became the same thing over and over, I woke up one morning and realized, this is not what I want to do with my life, I don't see myself being with this woman in 20 years, she's not who I'm meant to be with, we don't have anything in common." The former couple, who share daughters Molly, 22, and Lily Sue, 21, split in 2004 when Brian allegedly came clean and admitted he didn't love Kerry anymore in a tense phone call. He has always claimed their decision to split was mutual, but she has insisted she begged him to stay. However, it turned out the writing was actually on the wall weeks before they even tied the knot. Brian cheated with a lap dancer on his stag do in 2001, and even went as far as to imply that their whole marriage had been a sham. "It wasn't a real wedding. We were getting married to have a big party and get loads of money for it, and to appear showbiz," he told Reveal magazine. "The day my marriage ended was on the stag night. That was the time I felt this is not supposed to be." The nasty saga saw Brian pay a substantial settlement to lap dancer Amy Barker after he denied they romped shortly before his wedding to Kerry. He was also forced to make a groveling apology and withdraw his accusations. Adult entertainer Amy, from West Yorkshire, was one of two lap dancers hired to entertain Brian and his stags on a coach trip during the raucous weekend. She claimed she had sex with Brian, but he initially denied it, insisting in an article with Heat magazine that, if it were true, the Westlife boys would never speak to me again. However, he eventually backtracked. An apology from both Brian and the magazine read, "In that interview, both Mr. McFadden and ourselves implicitly accused Ms. Amy Barker of lying, when she previously claimed in an article published in the Sunday People to have had a sexual encounter with Brian on the occasion of his stag night 3 years ago. We and Mr. McFadden accept that a sexual encounter did take place. And it was not our intention to accuse Ms. Barker of lying." For Kerry, who said she was very much in love, the news was devastating. Especially as she reportedly found out by reading it in the newspaper 6 months after while Brian was away on tour. "That killed it for me. I loved Brian and I trusted him. I remember thinking, but he's the fat one from Westlife. Why would he do this to me?" she told the now-defunct News of the World. After their split, Brian moved on with Australian singer Delta Goodrem after they joined forces for his solo single, Almost Here. Kerry later quipped that she could have steered fate another way had she accepted Brian's invitation to join them in the recording studio instead of appearing on Loose Women. I was Kerry McFadden, married to Brian when I first appeared on Loose Women age 22, she told the ITV show in 2017. It was always my Brian this and that, and then one day Brian said to me, "I'm recording a new single with someone called Delta Goodrum, come with me," and I was like, I can't come, I'm on Loose Women. Imagine if I didn't, I'd still be married. However, she admitted that Delta wasn't the issue, adding, "If someone falls out of love with you, there's nothing you can do." A version of this story was published in February 2023.